and he somehow transferred to us. I don't know how, but very late in the day. But he was great to have around, I thought.
I realize, good fellow. And that is you.
Yes. Yes, my time on a motorcycle wasn't particularly glorious.
No, I'm telling Roy, you went up there, and I went with you, but anyway, that was you.
Mm.
And then the next Sunday, I think, when we went up there, did the riding.
It was at Attock, wasn't it? Somewhere near Attock. We could see Attock across the river.
Yeah.
There you are. Look at that. All the mules. I don't know how Ghurkas really would cope with mules, because they're not sort of horsey people, are they?
No, but they did anything, didn't they?
Yes, but they managed.
Yeah, that's stuff and actually,
yes. Actually, I was in Rootham, just up the road, doing a sort of pre-op tour, and we all had to learn to drive 1500 weights and motorcycles, and going round and round in circles on a sort of dirt track. I thought it was terrific fun, and then they said, well, now, right, we're onto the road. But nobody had taught me how to change up. And there was I driving solemnly along the main road at sort of in second gear, and I was turfed off that and put back onto the circular track, and until somebody could teach me how to change gear. And yet my father had a motorcycle shop. Yeah, it is.
So that was what called Papa. And so this was the double hedge behind it, right? Names of it.
Yes. No, I've lost all the names.
Yes. And that's when
I think I've got those two too.
Yeah, that's when I took the Strange Morse platoon.
Yes.
It was a 25 with the British, with the 25th Dragoons or whatever. They had 25 pounders.
In that respect, I thought Hickman was good.
Yeah.
He arranged this for you.
That's me.
Yes. At least he proved that Ghurkas could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the sergeant major, when he saw the size of the Ghurkas, he said, "Oh, how on earth are they going to get the guns off the platforms and onto the platforms?" He just couldn't get over. He said they're so small they won't be able to cope.
No.
And lo and behold, they were chucking the things around like nobody.
Yes.
That was the mess orderly.
Yes.
Mess breakfast. The centre.
You've got lots of money I don't have here.
That was at March. Is that Birdwood? He was at 2IC, do you remember?
Oh, yes, yes.
That was him, I think, presenting the something or other.
He was a son of, well, no, he was a grandson of Field Marshal, and he'd been in the Desert Patrol. He was a cavalryman, obviously.
Yeah.
And he'd been in long distance in the Western Desert.
Oh, the long range desert.
Yes, and no doubt, I wouldn't question. But he was our second in command, and not being an infantryman, he wasn't particularly welcome. And he had the reputation, and he was a pain in the neck, really. And I can remember him saying to me one day, it was all to do with ducks and supplying across the river.
Yeah.
He said, the trouble is with you, Whitby, you always want to do things the easy way. Well, I mean, the easy way is generally the best way.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he was a dead loss, really. But in a way, a harmless enough bloke, nice enough bloke. But
Now, who is the husband at the time? Not Daniel. Anyway, he had quite a time sort of coping with him, actually, because, you know,
yes, wouldn't have been Tim Wilson, would it?
No. Daniel,
Daniel's probably, yes. Well, he was a bit of a problem himself, wasn't he? Well, I got on well enough with him, I suppose.
That's a duck. Oh, he's a duck. Look at it. Roy, look at all these things.
Yeah, you showed me loads of them.
Yeah.
Have you seen they drive them around in London for the tourists?
Yes, and sink them.
And sink them, yeah.
I thought how clever it was, though. But how old are they?
Absolutely. They're
Yes.
from the war, must be.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we had every type of transport there. That was a good old school.
Yes. Do you remember? I remember literally when the Superdar Major left Muzaffarpur, and we were all at a district officer's drinks party, and we got to the railway station, and the train had gone, and surely we all got it. We got a duck and tried to go after the train. Was it Darbanga or somewhere? To catch the train up to say goodbye to him, because he was Subedar Major was a colossal figure in a battalion.
Yeah.
And we'd been wrong, but it was he was NTO. You know,
Bill Cannell.
No, not Bill Cannell. Lambert.
Oh, Lambert.
Yes, he got that, and we drove through the night. It was you weren't possibly were there.
I don't remember that. No, I don't think I remember that.
Disgrace, you know, that we weren't there, but we all wrote effusively apologetic letters to him, because he was a very good Subedar Major.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Well, I suppose really he's the senior Ghurka in the battalion and has the ear of the CO.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Yes. And that's Paddy. Redwood.
yes,
Yeah, he used to go duck shooting. They used to go duck shooting.
yes. Yes, you've used the phrase camp followers. Those are the sort of people who I was thinking of, their graves in Arezzo. You know, how they were there and they had their own separate graves, and, you know, all honour to them.
Yeah.
They look business-like here.
Yeah, it was dancing and art.
Yes.
That was Scottish dancing. This is in the Ghurka village, just on the borders.
Yes, we went to Gorapur once together.
Yeah.
And I've got a
It was
few
you and
photographs.
Link Lambert and myself, I think. There were three of us, wasn't there? Or was it?
I can't remember them, but I do remember we went and looking around the shops of, or the tailors' shops of I mean, some of those tailors had a special name, but we did have some in the battalion, didn't we?
Jerseys.
Good, that's right, yes. Yes. I remember him very well.
Yeah. Oh yes, lovely. This was when we came home from Madras. Were you with us? You must be. When we sort of the end of our time, and we had our own train, and we travelled from Madras up to Pune by day, and we took the whole day. And
yes.
And on the way we stopped for breakfast and then lunch, and the train pulled into a siding, and we got the hot water from the engine.
Oh yes, that was. I can remember going from Madras to Pune.
Yeah.
After coming back from Malaya, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
Well, this is it.
I see.
And training, and then when we got on the train,
yes.
It had to be done as a drill and everything.
Yes, actually, that was the third, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The third from Malaya.
Yeah.
And what was that fellow? There was one fellow, and they made him quartermaster, a dozy sort of young chap. And the CO said, I'd have to take over from him. Oh. And I was pretty cross, I must say. But somehow or other, I must have been behind that move.
That's up there by the same course.
Mind you, the quartermaster and the adjutant got paid extra, so that was some consolation. I think it was quite a good increase, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think the sort of stopping the train and having tea from the engine or water from the engine to make tea has always amused me. Just the very thought of it, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
And then in Calcutta, yes, we were there together.
Yes.
Stevens, remember?
Ah, that's Stevens. That's the one CEO that I really did respect. There you are. That's
right. That was the picture.
Yeah.
You look quite similar.
Yes.
One on each end.
Well, there's a friend of mine here in Guildford.
Is that yours?
No, that's yours.
There's a friend of mine in Guildford, Tony Swain, who was in the East African forces. And I think Stevens was there at one time. Anyway, he had the greatest respect for him. He saw this in the album here, and he said, "Oh, I know him." And
Oh,
he met him somewhere.
Because he was a prisoner of war, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And
Stevens.
yes, and he was such a.
Well, that must have been in the Middle East or somewhere.
No, I think it was probably in Burma. I don't know. One could try and check up on that, but I thought he was a brilliant fellow, and we only had him for about a fortnight. This was the very end, wasn't it?
Calcutta.
And
Daniels, I think. Oh no, he was out here as well afterwards. Dapper little fellow. Came from Northern Ireland.
Oh. Yes, I can't remember his name.
Purcell? No.
Because
He
in Calcutta. He was a jockey. He used to ride in the Calcutta races. Do you remember?
Mm. Yes, you're right, yes.
The weekends, Roy.
Yeah.
He was on COs. Yeah. The weekends he used to ride in a horse race.
Oh,
And he was your CO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Purcell.
Purcell. As I say, I liked him as a person. He was nice, very nice, but I didn't think he was any good as a CEO.
No.
And Hickman, I thought he was quite good as a CEO, but I didn't like him as a person. You know, you can't satisfy his junior rank. But that bloke was, and really, he was the best, one of the best third Ghurka officers, but he only made second in command ever. John Wallace, he was terrific.
John Wallace there?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can,
He was good.
I can remember the move from Pune to Calcutta, and or was it, yes, to Calcutta, and the CEO, Purcell, was away at the races somewhere, and so it was his job to get the battalion moving, and he just said, he just called us in together, and he said, well, you all know what you've got to do, go and do it. And that was, and we did it. Now, had Purcell been there, God knows how long he would have told us, you know, it would have been impossible. And we were so lucky that Purcell was at the races that day, somewhere, well, Pune, I suppose, and what's his name? Willis was with him. Willis was a great friend of his. And, no, he was a tremendous bloke and should have been CEO.
Oh, this is Salon.
Yeah.
That was my sister-in-law, Margaret. Because my brother was in posted to Australia as sort of Commandant of the Ordnance out there. And she came home a month earlier by sea, preceded him by a month, and came and stayed with me in Ceylon. And I took her all over the island. And he was the other assistant on the estate.
Well, what do you think of this trouble at the moment in Ceylon?
Oh, that's Rose Duncan, that's my boss. That was my boss.
Oh, yes.
He was yes, now let me see. He got engaged in England before he started his career. And he'd been, he was a heavyweight boxer. He'd been trained under Solomon. Anyway, he met this woman in England and they got engaged and came out. And she couldn't stand it. And the people out there, she didn't fit in.
No.
And she wanted to go, so he took her down to or a friend of his took her down, said, we've had enough of you. Took her down to Colombo, saw her on a ship off to England. He came back to Resident and said, I hope your wife's gone.
Yes, it's normally the other way around, isn't it?
But he was a super chap.
Mm.
Yeah, he was trained, he would have been a heavyweight champion. He was trained under Solomon. And I think his brother, who was at the time, a bugler, he started life as a bugler in one of the Scottish regiments, and ended up commanding a battalion.
Perfect. Well, that's very good. Well, a lot of photographs I haven't seen or don't have. Yeah, that's very good of you to brought it.
Oh, it's nice to share them again.
Wasn't there a second one? Let me just, yeah. But yes, what do you think about what's going on at the moment out there?
pretty ghastly, really.
Very sad, isn't it?
It sounds as if the present man is a crook.
Well, it's a family thing, isn't it?
Yes.
I think his brother was in the...
Yes.
But you know the history of how the Tamils got in there.
Yes, yes,
Just being recruited
yes,
to go into Pakpati.
yes.
Mm.
It's tragic, yes.
It's tragic.
One really can't have any sympathy with Tamil tigers, but...
Well, no, they were the first of all the suicide lots,
Yes,
weren't they?
yes. But it seems there's a lot of gratuitous violence and killing that...
Yeah.
But it seems, you know, one is... I just feel that sort of one is Britain and America are regarded as sort of powerful, chucking their weights around and all the rest of it. But I don't think anybody can surpass the Muslim capacity for killing each other.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It is, yeah.
And well, you just mentioned the word tribe.
Yeah.
In Syria, it's
Yeah.
a question of factions as well as.
Well, I was reading somewhere within the Syria, all these factions that are coming in, a lot of it is linked within their histories to the end of the world period.
Yes.
And they're all in an end of a world sort of situation.
Yes.
It's frightening.
Yes. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my bungalow in Ceylon, your body bungalow. That's myself, my golden retriever that I had.
Good God. You've always had dogs that I had to look after.
Oh, really?
Well, he was always shooting off on leave.
Yeah.
And I was left because I
Looking
shared
after-
rooms with him.
Oh,
I was
did you?
looking after his dog. What was it? So you had a very large dog, didn't you? At one stage.
I don't remember. Well, I mean, I had the golden retrievers.
You had Dushka, but that was in Ceylon.
That was in Ceylon.
But this would have been in India, I presume, Ralph.
Yes, in India, yes.
I don't remember. Honestly. My brother had...
Well, of course, you were going off on courses, or going off on leave, I think, because you could go off on leave.
Because I was... Well, my father had an Airedale, but my brother, when he joined up, I took over his dog, and that's it. That was a golden retriever, I'm sure.
And of course, the other fellow who was Rutledge.
Oh, John Rutledge.
Yes, he had a big dog too, didn't he?
Yeah, John Rutledge.
Well, I've got a photograph of him with a dog. Now, whether that was at home or in the regiment, I don't know.
Wow.
But I remember your dogs.
Yeah, well, he's passed on, as you know.
Yes, I'm sure.
Sally's still, his wife's still.
Yes, yes. I did get a card from her. I'll send her a card this one.
Yeah. She's invited us to go down sometime, right?
Yeah.
Sally.
Well, do give her my best wishes.
He was a great chap. Of course, his father was general manager of a tea estate out in Ceylon, Kelly.
No, he was a great tonic, John Rutledge, when he came to the battalion. You know, he was a good officer and great fun, actually.
Yeah, that was my sister-in-law. The bungalow, that's myself.
Is that an aeroplane? No. Yes. Actually, in Muzaffarpur, we were there in 47, was it? But it amazed me that all the planters had aeroplanes.
Really?
And what were they, indigo planters or something like that, weren't they? Or jute,
possibly.
something. But we were based on an aerodrome, weren't we? Not an aerodrome, but an airstrip.
Yeah.
And the number of people who used to have aeroplanes in those days was quite amazing. But you know, they seemed so much ahead of anything one saw in the UK, private flying. But of course, it was very convenient for them, covering long distances. I know because when in Blair I was given an offer of going in Ulster to view the area of the new village that I was building.
Yeah.
And its relationship to the jungle. And I was petrified. I was hanging on to the sort of upper parts of the cabin. And I don't think I saw anything of what was below. I decided I wasn't no good as an airman.
Let's see. Drawing.
Of course, I can remember your grandfather
Oh, really?
in Norfolk or Suffolk?
Norfolk, he was in Elsham when he retired, I think. You mean Dan, his father?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we came up and now where were you? You must have been based there. And we were on leave. It was 53, I'm sure. And you must have been on leave. And we went up and your mother and father were living in a farmhouse.
Yes, it would have Elsham in Norfolk.
Norfolk. Yes. And I always remember, because wasn't your father trying to grow tobacco or something?
That's right.
That's right. I remember, yeah. I remember.
But I remember him most because we went up to play golf in Cromer. And Cromer is a lovely golf course.
Yeah.
But as far as your father was concerned, I think I must have spoilt it for him forever. Because I was a very poor golf player. I only did it to please my brother-in-law, to satisfy him. And I was no good at it at all. And I wasn't aware of all the etiquette of, and I transgressed endlessly on Cromer. And I think I don't know what your father must have thought of me, but I know I put him off his game.
But the tobacco game was good. You've heard all about that.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to grow his own tobacco.
Yes, well, he was talking about it. Yeah.
And he couldn't wait for long enough for it to be cured properly.
Mm.
And so when he was smoking, in fact, it was pretty rank because it's half green. And we used to catch a bus at the corner, just by the road there, on the corner, if we wanted to go into Norwich or Cromer. And if the other passengers, if they saw my father coming along, they knew that it was going to be a single decker, they would all disappear.
He was a lovely man, I thought. Lovely chap. Yes. But another thing that happened on that, I don't know if you remember, when we were in Macau, there were a couple. In fact, he'd been in West Africa, transferred to the Malayan Civil Service, and he married a girl who'd, I don't know, yeah, she did manage to escape from during the war, but her father was manager of a bank in Malacca, a British bank, and she married Cassidy, who was in the Malayan Civil Service, and they both ended up in Macau with us, and we knew that she had a twin sister, this girl, and we were out on the Broads, sort of mishandling some boat or other that we had vowed to take out, and there was a man and a girl standing sort of 50 yards or further away, and Elizabeth said, that Patchcaster's sister. And sure enough, it was the father, who had retired long since, and it was the sister of the wife of Cassidy, who we knew in Macau.
Wow.
And she recognized her purely from the likeness. Over 50 yards, we were in the middle stream, sort of trying to get control of this wretched boat. Do you remember that?
Yeah, very good.
It was quite amazing. That was we never forgot that visit to Norfolk, actually. Yeah. But in fact, Patsy Cassidy lives in Tunbridge Wells now. She's gone very religious. So.
That was about the Ghurkas.
Oh, yeah. Hitman. You wrote that, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course, yes. You did it for the
bulletin.
bulletin, yes. Ukraine. So it was the Dragoons that you went to.
Dragoons, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's off the phone? The trouble is, one never took any leave in India. You know, one felt that one was so indispensable to the battalion that John had a good reason for going because his parents were. But you felt that you couldn't, they couldn't manage without you. Quite erroneously, of course.
Mm-hmm. I forget that John's parents would have still been there when he was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then to find this nurse from Uta Command in Tunbridge Wells Hospital.
Yeah.
Is it a bit cold in here? Surely this heating must be on. Look, have this.
That's yours. I've had one. John, have a bit of coffee. It's getting cold. I'm all right. If you,
coffee?
Yeah, I'm okay. I can help myself if I want some more. That kick, yours kicked on. Are you warm enough?
Yes. No, I was just wondering. Are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. John?
Yeah,
Are you warm enough?
Yeah, I'm warm enough, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, that was my father on board the ship coming out. Because when my mother died, my father came out.
Well, I remember your mother too, quite well.
Yeah.
Yes. What did you make of his mother? Doris, wasn't it?
Mm.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah?
Very sweet to Elizabeth.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, there he is playing cricket on
But
board.
she didn't play golf, fortunately.
Playing cricket on board ship.
Yes.
And that was going Hellbody estate. There was this estate out of run.
Well, Dan was very good at cricket as well, as you probably know.
Was he? No.
Yeah, no, he played for Berkshire, and then he
In South India.
well, he was in the Berkshire counties, and then when he was out there, Colin Cowdrey was next on a similar estate.
Yeah. Colin
So
Cowdrey, remember him?
Yeah.
You know the cricketer, so...
Well,
But was he a planting family?
Yeah.
Yes, he
His
was.
father was,
He was.
managed a tea estate next to my father.
Oh, see, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, so I think he was involved there with that. And according to Isabel, he's even bowled a bowl once to W.G. Grace.
God.
Yeah.
Apparently discovered
He was
that.
taught. He was taught to.
So he must have been a fine sportsman down there.
Yeah, he was. So Colin Cowdrey played for England, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it was the first time he played, and he stopped off at Colombo, played there, because he was playing in the match out in Australia. And then he left Colombo by sea, and the day that he arrived in Australia, his father died.
Mm.
No, he saw him play in the first Test match.
Mm.
So he saw him play for England for the first time.
That's right, for the first time.
And then,
And he died.
yeah.
And it was his one ambition that he should play for England.
Mm. He was at Tunbridge, I think, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Yes.
Colin Cowdery was.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, there's the other boy playing on board ship.
Well, they say Sevenoaks School now is more expensive than Eton.
Really?
Yes.
Gosh.
I think it's probably because they have an awful lot of overseas students.
Yeah.
And they can
Afford to
charge them.
Yeah.
That's young Roy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
On the coast.
But how did you used to get to and from Ceylon as a planter? Did you go by boat?
Sea, yeah. This is actually on board.
Oh, that, yes, of
That's
course,
on
that was
board.
the silly question.
Yeah, that was on the deck.
Yes. We always used to fly home and go back by boat, just sort of prolong the leave of it.
So what sort of planes would it have been then?
Oh, an Argonaut,
Right.
and that was about the earliest. But we flew home from Macau by Argonaut. Whether it was that year, but we were flying home over Calcutta the day that the comet crashed.
Right.
And it was very nasty.
Because you were booked on the Comet, weren't you? And Elizabeth said, let's stay another day. Why do we want to go home?
Yeah, well, yes, I can't remember that, but we could have been on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I seem to remember at the time.
Yes.
Because I think I was over in Ireland. I went out to Ireland, and you'd written. I think I got card, and you'd said that we would have been on that plane. But Elizabeth said, well, why do we want to get home so quickly? Let's stay and enjoy ourselves.
Yes,
So
yes. No, it was, but I'm a poor flyer. I'm definitely a sort of first-class, four-engine, fair weather passenger.
Do you know why it crashed? The second one, anyway. Do you know why that crashed?
What, the Comet?
No, I don't.
Well, the pressure. Apparently, one of the windows, the seal around the windows, failed, and so
It was the corrosion. It was the corrosion of the rivets that basically was the reason why these comets had all started crashing. So they were pulled from service eventually. I think there's a documentary on it somewhere that went through all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
What amazes me is that they junked the Concorde.
Yeah.
And so prime ministers now have to sit for 8 hours on a plane to get to New York. Of course, you could say they can do it on their computers.
Yeah.
But I would have thought that it would have been well worth it.
I thought that as well. I thought, if push came to shove and you had to race around the world physically seeing someone's sign, you'd be here, there, where, and back before the others had even got there.
Yes.
Well, 1955, 54. Yeah, maybe. Is that when Elizabeth came through? I don't know. That was on the estate.
Oh, lovely.
And go and retrieve a polar with a straw hat on. That would have been Roy with him.
There has been a train television program about the Haute Commande.
Yes.
Railway.
Yes, I saw that.
Sweet, yes.
It was sweet. In fact, it looked a lovely area.
Yeah.
I've been trying to persuade John because, there's a few old tea bungalows that have been set up as not quite tourist things, but where visitors can stay.
Oh?
And it would make a lovely little holiday to be able to go out there and see some of them.
Imagine the insurance for somebody.
With all the health things and everything.
Yes. and I put my passport away a long time ago. Oh, lovely dog.
That's
Yeah.
Roy. And Paula.
Yeah.
That's Roy and Michael saying their prayers. And that's Monica and Ross. That was just after Pat and I had our marriage. We were married actually, and then this was the reception back at the bungalow. This man was there. This was later, of course, long afterwards, with Roy and Michael up at the club. That's my father and mother.
Yes. Oh.
Well, I'm only recently discovering from John's childhood, because a very remote.
Yes.
Did you ever go up to?
No.
that?
No.
But you know, the club was, how far away was the club where they would go? I think you said 400 miles, but I'm sure it can't have been that.
No,
far.
right.
But there were no other European children around, so and they didn't always take him. And the social.
Oh, that was, I see what
the
you mean.
social.
That was Valpari. No, that would have been about 25 miles away from
Right.
that.
But they'd go, what, once a month?
Saturday.
Once a Saturday, but not always taken. But in those days, you weren't allowed to play with the local children either.
No.
And his brother had already left. So he, as a child, there was no one to play with. I found it extraordinary.
Yeah, there we are. That's bad.
Oh. It's amazing how handsome we were when we were young.
Yeah. Good to be reminded, isn't it?
Oh, she was beautiful.
And that's you again.
It's me.
A little older.
Not much.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. It's just his dark suit on makes him look a bit more.
Yes.
Oh, she was beautiful.
But I look at some of my old photographs and I think, sort of passport photographs, God, well, did I look as good as and then I think that of my sons. I mean, there's been one photograph of Peter, and that's me, he was handsome. But of course, weight starts taking its toll, and Mark is absolutely obese at the moment.
Yeah, it was Pat in the local hospital, African hospital, Cat Sarvik, sort of talking to some of the patients. They thought she was wonderful. She was.
Sure she was.
Michael, I think.
Yeah.
Butch. Michael.
He lives in Spain now. He married a Spanish girl.
Yes. He's back in Spain, is he not?
Yeah.
They live their family, but he's coming home in February, isn't it?
Just for a week, yeah.
Just for a week.
But I think he even thinks in Spanish these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Michael Editing. This is again in Africa. Kenya.
Oh, yes, recognisable.
That's Pat again with him. There was a monastery fairly close by, actually, which he was a great chap. He helped build. And we were all there for the opening ceremony and everything. But they were, what was so wonderful really was they were so natural and ordinary. You know, the priests out there took everything sort of, stride without any sort of fuss or bother. And Father Erity, he'd been, I think he'd been the sort of he'd been a padre in Burma during the war.
Actually, my experience of missionaries in Malaya, the only people that I had any respect for were the Roman Catholic missionaries who lived on the ground with the people.
yeah.
And we had quite a lot of Chinese speakers who had been in missionaries in China,
Yeah.
and they were brought in to help out do the sort of lower level jobs. And in fact, they were not a very nice lot of people, most of them, self-seeking and really quite objectionable. And but the Roman Catholics, one always felt the Roman Catholic clergymen, or whatever you call them, living in villages, one had great respect for.
Yeah. He was good. I think he got an see, he was decorated, I think, anyway, far right. Okay. And that was our wedding reception back at the bungalow, our bungalow, after the wedding. And that was Kitty Mayers, who was, her husband was one of the earliest European pilots who went out there.
Yeah.
And Roy stayed with her while all this was going on.
Who's that? Kitty Mayers?
Kitty Mayers.
Yeah, that's right. I think she travelled up there in an ox cart.
Yeah.
Some pioneering stuff.
Yes.
Oh, this is not boring. Well, this is up at Tinderhead. That was the Zephyr that I had.
Did you have a Zephyr?
I had a Zephyr.
Yes, so did I.
Did you?
Yes. Not a...
Tourer.
The
not
state.
I had a...
State.
The saloon, did you?
Yes.
With the round sort of face at the front.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And they used to be very fast.
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Yes.
They were on Z cars, weren't they? I seem to remember in
Were they?
the programme in the old days. But yes, no, lovely cars and big and heavy.
Yes, yes. I know with the legal advisor who lived in our star, he had an MG Magnet or something like that. And there was great rivalry because the road to Alistar was straight straight and paddy fields on either side. So if you left the road, you were in a paddy field, and and we didn't race up, but we used to time ourselves and say, well, I did it in such and such a way. But they were very fast indeed.
Yeah, the boys, like Carmen, with the Largo and Receiver.
Well, what was the weather? Presumably it was fairly hot.
Well, during the summer it used to, May, early on, March, April, May, heavy monsoons from the southwest.
Well, this is Tinderhead. No, Tinderhead was at 7,000 feet, so it was cool in the evenings, but in the daytime, with the sun, it would warm up, and then you had your rain. It was very isolated, so it was surrounded with a massive forest, which also affected the weather there.
Yes.
But it was a nice climate. It's the meaning of the name is place of lightning. So you'd get, when the rains were around, you get a lot of lightning storms.
Yes.
So it's very pretty.
I was Roy, prep school age, Michael and Roy. That was Michael and Roy. My sister-in-law Margot and Pat and myself.
Good Lord, yeah.
That's my brother and sister-in-law. Because he was.
And this is Roy and Michael.
Yeah.
God.
That's the middle.
But Margot, during the war, didn't you used to say she used to hang around with Douglas Bade a lot?
Yeah. How did that come? Because first time, Roy and my brother and Margot and Roy's there was another chap who was great friends, and the other one, his friend, he became one of the Red Arrows.
Ah, yes.
But they used to be there during their own. Margot, as first husband.
Did she marry? No.
Yeah.
Did she marry him, or was she?
No,
No,
she
she was engaged or
He was
something.
engaged, that's right. He was one of Red Arrows, that's right.
Not Red Arrows. They weren't around then. This is in the.
No, he trained.
This is in during the war. He was a fight. They were the fighter pilots in Spitfire.
Yeah, but he became one of the.
Oh, well, afterwards.
Yeah, after all.
Oh, okay.
Of course, you know, where sort of Kenya is a problem area at the moment, and so is Ceylon, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Asian
is.
Tribal. And,
It's all tribal, absolutely. Same in Zim, really.
Yeah.
This is Kirkby, like David says, this is where Roy used to spend his holidays, which he didn't enjoy very much with them. That was their daughter.
Where was this?
That was in,
This was up near Cambridge, actually.
Yeah.
It was an old Catholic school, St Edmund's College.
Mm-hmm.
There's a town called Ware near Hertford, so it would be on the old A10 up to Cambridge.
this was on the estate again, and Nick Rose and his wife were both doctors, and they used to come up and visit. We had a dispensary. Any emergencies, we'd evacuate them to Capsaba Hospital. But any sort of minor thing we'd cope with. And anyway, Nick and his wife, who were both doctors, used to come up once a month to check any cases that needed looking at, and also sort of check what was required at our local dispensary. So that's
Yes.
that's about it, I think.
Terrific. Oh, you've got a very good family album.
Yeah.
But at least you've annotated
But
them.
I thought you had. Well, I must check this out because I thought we had more than just the one on the Ghurka photos.
Yeah,
But
that's crossing the line.
the equator.
The equator.
Oh, God. Yes, haven't been caught on that one.
Yeah, crossing the line. We'll see, you got that there. Oh yes, this was down. We went down to Land's End.
Oh, yes, yes.
You been there?
Yes. Yes, Elizabeth and I went down in 53, I suppose. No, it wasn't 53, it was 57. And we had Mark then.
Because of course you could put your own
Yes.
annotation up there, Nandy. I put down whatever the mileage I thought it was.
Right, it was a sort of a guess, wasn't it?
Yes.
Give me a second.
Oh, very interesting, very good. Now, have another warm cup of coffee, please.
It's your bag. It's okay.
Look, you dispose of that.
Okay, well, we'll still have them here and we'll dispose of them. John can have one. John sometimes likes his coffee cold.
I don't
Do you want your coffee reheated?
No, right.
He likes it cold. I'm going to go out and have my last little cigarette. Sorry,
I must go to the...
I showed you that, didn't I?
Sorry.
Royal.
Yes, yes,
Show you the
very
closet.
good. Excuse me, I must go. Do you want to go to the toilet? I must go. Thanks, guys. Where's the other drawer then? I have it so that this light comes on every day at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I have to be sure that the curtains are drawn.
Hmm?
It's been very enjoyable.
Very, very.
First time I've seen you laugh and smile in ages. Very nice man, Mark.
Hmm.
Let's just have a look to see your connections on this video. Oh, okay. Do you need a hand with anything?
No, is there anything I can get you? Would you like another cup of coffee?
That would be great. I'll, yeah, bring my mug out.
And,
Right, where does that fireplace remind you of?
if you...
It reminds me of Tinderette, actually. Does it remind you of Tinderette?
Absolutely.
Does that fireplace still work?
Yes, I haven't for years though. Well, it does work.
That's one thing I really miss in this part of the world.
Yes. No, we haven't made anything, of course, is to store, where to store coal. Yes.
Yeah.
But it
And cleaning it and all the rest.
yes, but one has used it and very, very glad to have had it like that.
Yeah, no, very. It's attractive. But it's very similar to the one up on the estate at Tinderette.
No?
Mm.
Well, it shows how old-fashioned this is. But it's useful and it's a centre.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one keeps Elizabeth's ashes here generally. But,
Yeah.
if you want to go to the toilet, I should have.
I've been, yeah, no, I found it. It's down the end. So are you having a refill?
Would you
Coffee?
make one and I'll pop upstairs and bring my collection of cookery stuff?
Oh, lovely, do, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Have you got yours still?
No.
Didn't know what to do with it.
Kept it for a long time. I think I had it done in the garage.
There's my cookery in there. Yeah. What else was there? Well, I think that was the sort of the issue, wasn't it?
Mm.
But we wore cookeries, did we? In the 4th Battalion? I think we did.
We did, yeah.
Yes, yes. Because of, but I had this, when Butterman went home, I told him to bring me back on leave, to bring me back, something really deadly.
Mm.
And that was it.
The great thing was never, ever.
Yes, yes.
So,
That was deadly, wasn't it? Yes. Yes. That's a good blade, I think. But this is just show cleaning. Pretty heavy though, you can feel it.
Oh, wow.
That's it's not a weight of it.
I don't know. Oh, you actually, it fits. Yes. Yes. I can get that samurai sword if you like.
We must get yours down to the garage. Or they'll only be deteriorating down there.
Yeah.